Evening, guys. I know it's been a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait for a few people to get in here before I actually get into some things. Um, so I guess get comfortable. I got some news here out of Michigan. Just in the last 4 hours, there's been another copycat stabbing. There was one up in Traverse City about a week ago. Um, Guy with a CPL took that guy in down into custody, and then one happened in Comstock, Michigan, which is just outside of Grand Rapids, about 4 hours ago, which as we assume is a copycat. Again, the bystanders took that person into custody and basically said we were not taking any of that shit. So Michigan is 2 for 2 in terms of stabbings at Walmarts in the last 2 weeks. So if you're in Michigan, avoid Walmarts, as you should anyway. But here's another reason. Uh, So yeah, Professor Comstock. It's a small neighborhood outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan. um, so, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and let people trickle in here, get comfortable. Tonight I am going to. How do I want to put this? I don't really know how to phrase the topic for tonight other than the systemic downfall of the next generations. It's not. That's by Kalamazoo. Grand Rapids is not Kalamazoo. Grand Rapids is its own city. Um. Anyway. Um. I don't know how to phrase this other than the systemic downfall of the next generations. I'm going to be going into um, everything from economics, my generation, the millennials, and generations after, so Gen Z and Alpha, um, how we're handling the next stages of society. Okay. Economics, social interactions is going to be a big one. Um, and then I'm going to try to round it out with I guess some kind of spiritual side of things, um, or people's viewpoints rather of that, the modern day take on it, I guess. And then if I have time or energy, I will bring panel up. Okay. Just know also I am kind of having a bit of a coughing fit over here because I cleared the side of the house of the brush again, and it just so happened that I hit that weed or plant or whatever the fuck it was that acted like tear gas last time I cleared that out. I still don't know what the fuck that thing is. And basically tear gassed myself today, so that's fun. So I'm hacking up a lung over here, recovering from that. Um, so yeah. So let's first off start off with the economic side of things. Um, who here has kids that were born like late 80s to like late 90s, aka the millennial generation? And or is of that bracket age here? Myself. Um, So that generation, and really any generation, well, you know what? I want to even throw in Gen X a little bit on this because really it started in the 80s, economic wise. So if you want to throw Gen X in there, if y'all are Gen X, sure. Grace says, I was born before the flood. Oh, Lord. Uh, so we'll go Gen X to current generation, Gen Alpha. Gen X and the millennials were sold on the idea of if you play by the book, you reach the finish line. You do A, B, and C, you're guaranteed to win. Or at least not I would say succeed, but you could live comfortably in life. Okay. Um, we were sold the idea you get a decent job, you go to school. In some cases, you go to college. In my generation, college was sold up, down the river. That was basically you had to go to college or you were nothing. Um, you get a decent job, you work that job for 20, 30 years, at which point you have enough money to retire and you live happily ever after. Uh, no. Plain and simple, no. Um, they fucked us over with that, okay? The cost of living, yeah, maybe if the cost of living was that of the early 2000s to late 90s, could we do it? Sure. Um, me as a 31-year-old, I am making about what my dad made, I would say, after working for GM for I forget how long. Either way, um, basically reaching the point of you can start putting away for retirement. You got the money rolling in now. You can have a nest egg. Start saving up. Um, start maybe doing some investing. Start playing with your money. Really, start living life. Start going on vacations. Uh, yeah, you're still working, but you're hitting that time period in your life where you're not a broke ass teenager that's just hoping to pay for a car payment, but you're not like pulling in your dividends from your investments and pulling on your 401k and like just fuck everything. I'm going to retire and go party. You're not that age yet. Um, but you're able to live life, and if you want to go spend an extra couple $100 to go do something once in a while, you can go do it. We were sold that idea. A lot of us millennials are of that age, late 20s, early 30s. um, and we're not cutting it. It's not there. The cost of living is more than just paycheck to paycheck these days. The I know you've heard it before. The average American these days cannot afford a emergency payment of $1,000. I myself can because I was smart with my money during the whole COVID shit. But that's not everybody's situation. Most people are taking every penny they have to pay rent, to buy a little bit of groceries, to put gas in their car and just go to work to live another day, which is utter bullshit. Okay, there's times where I even feel it, and I would say I'm better off than most. I'm not, rolling in the dough here, but I'm making it work, and it's I'm breaking even and actually putting away a little bit in savings each month, each paycheck. I'm surviving. Um, I'm able to make purchases once in a while to do reviews of, for instance, expensive flashlights for you guys. Um, or put an extra set of lights on the truck for when I need that. Or, some little things, okay? Not a lot. You know, my dad's era, okay, he was born in 56, so he's a baby boomer. At his age, or at my age, he was redoing, um, I remember seeing pictures. He would redo panel vans, uh, into basically, uh, well, how do I want to put it? Shag wagons. Okay. He had a, uh, kind of a dark brown panel van. The wood paneling you have in like 80s houses, that kind of color with neon pink fuzzy, uh shag carpeting throughout the van. 60s, 70s shag carpeting with a bed in the back, putting sound systems in, redoing a van, doing chop shop, or chop top, uh, van builds. Um, he had a couple cars. He redid a Gremlin into like a hot rod. Um, but he was doing this shit in his 30s. Okay, do you think I can do that in my 30s, where I can spend money on multiple cars and redo them the way I want? No. Why? Because the fucking cost of living is so astronomical that my generation, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, have all been fucked over in terms of their future. Um, I don't know how to fix it anymore. I've lost confidence in Trump, personally. Um, oh, sorry, I'm on the verge of coughing over here. I've lost confidence in Trump. I don't know when this economy is going to get its ass going again. If it's going to at all get its ass going again, because I don't see any fucking progress. So, just to put it into perspective, I went to Kroger today because they had Diet Coke on sale, and you guys know I literally run on Diet Coke. There's nobody there. Few people, but generally speaking, nobody there. And I go to this one every fucking weekend. Went to Red Robin for dinner. Nobody there. Now, granted, Red Robin, and I'll get to this in a bit here, uh, is a dying breed. Okay, you don't see restaurant chains like you used to. Red Robin, TGI Fridays, etc. Um, Nobody there. Uh, um, I'm just out and about, and there's nobody there. Everyone's either at home or in their cars. Where they're going, I don't know. Um, Not that I want to see people, But where is everybody? What is everybody doing? Where are you spending your money, people? You can't just be going and blowing money on gas just to drive. It's not like the 70s or 80s where, you filled up a tank of gas and you went for a Sunday drive and you just went. You didn't care where you were going. Um, yeah, it's reality is leaving me more confused by the day. Nobody seems to know how to fix it. Nobody seems to know what the fuck's going on anyway. You can't fix a problem that you don't know what the problem is. Um, in terms of socializing, I don't see people out and about. I saw a hell of a lot of cars at the park by my house here, but did I see people? No. I don't know where the hell you people are. Um, I don't see people going out and sorry, coughing here because of allergies and shit. 1 second. I don't see the typical people hanging out at places or going places in groups like uh y'all remember the 90s or early 2000s, everybody was at the mall. That was a thing. You had hordes of people in groups of friends of 5 to 7 people just going store to store buying shit or not buying anything at all, just looking, you know. Um that's gone. Where are you people? Where are you going? What are you doing? I'm speaking to my own generation and earlier generations. Or I'm sorry, later generations, younger generations. What are you people doing? You can't tell me you're all in your house. I know malls are dead, Be Charming. And this is what I was getting at with the whole Red Robin thing earlier, which, by the way, the food sucked. Um, why are we not holding these places accountable for their quality of service? Okay, like I'm going to use the instance of Red Robin today. Dinner sucked. Okay, Red Robin, TGI Fridays, Ruby Tuesday, um, all these restaurant chains have gone under. Okay, all these malls have gone under. All the places that you would go to congregate and socialize and do whatever, gone. Holy shit, Jeep is in chat. Hello, Jeep. Long time no see. Um, all these places are gone. So where you people are going and doing things, I don't know. Um, which leaves me at a loss to go meet people and just find people. So, which leads me to the next segment of um, the societal decay, I guess you could say, of tonight's subject. Um, so the women of today have basically told the guys to fuck off. The guys have fucked off and are doing their own thing. Um, nobody's having kids. Nobody's dating. Nobody's raising a family. And the few that are, it's like once in a blue moon. Um, and it's always led to problems, divorces, and other shit. Um, nobody cares to build on this society that we've been building on for the last 250 years in the United States. They're just letting it go to waste. They're letting our prior generations, our fathers, our grandfathers, our forefathers built. They're throwing it away. All because I don't want to say you don't want to work, because then I'll sound like a boomer. Because yeah, we are working, but we're not getting anywhere. I'm sorry, my throat is killing me after that. Doing that mowing the grass today. Anyway, um, people are online, just wasting their lives. Now, granted, I'm online right now. You're online right now. Okay, once in a blue moon or whatever, fine. Whatever you want to call it. It's just the nature of today. Of we're online, but we don't have to be consumed by it. Okay. Um, so nobody's going out and meeting people. Nobody's having families. Nobody's raising families, which means we have no kids, which means we have no future. Okay. Which leads back to the whole thing of the current generation that should be in power right now. Uh, Millennials and maybe early or older Gen Z. Um, which leaves us hopeless. Uh, Basically thinking, why even try? Where am I going to go in life if I know that the next 6 months I'm going to be working is just to make it, like not even succeed in life, just to exist? Why try? I know that sounds dark and depressing, but yeah, that's what it is. That's where we're going towards, people, if we're not already there. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know who to call upon. Trump has, I wouldn't say he's failed us, but he's not doing a very good job right now. The enthusiasm is long gone right now. And y'all can throw me under the bus for saying that, but my enthusiasm, at least, is long gone. I'm not seeing stores open up. I'm not seeing people spending money and feeling at ease like we did in 16. It's not there anymore. If we had 8 years of Trump solid, we could have fixed this. Um, I don't know anymore. Um, what do future generations have to look for? Give me a reason to go find somebody to go have kids with, get married, and uh, build a future for this country. There is no reason. Uh, and I'm not the only guy out there that feels this way. It's like, why keep a system that is failing propped up just to perpetuate the suffering? And I'm not saying our system was bad, but it has been broken to a point where it's irreparable now. Um, like I said, our system was not perfect, but at least if we kept it running, it was maintaining itself and or at least we were under the illusion of it maintaining its ourselves. Nobody got out of line, nobody skimmed too much off the top, and things functioned. Roads were built. People opened up a store if they wanted to. People could afford shit. People could live their lives comfortably, generally speaking, if you applied yourself. I'm talking like early 2000s, late, 90s, 80s, 70s, that era. Okay. But now, the last 15, 20 years, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody has given a fuck enough to keep this illusion going. Sorry for the coughing. I'm I'm getting worked up over here, and the coughing and the excitement does not help the cough. Um, B Charming says Florida's growing. Yeah, okay. I want to move to Florida along with all the other old people into a densely packed state to where their taxes, their land, and all that is jam packed just as much as New York. Yeah, I totally fucking want to go there. Thank you. No, I don't. Um, Give me some land in Alabama, backwoods bullshit. Yeah, I'll do that. You know. Um, why are we propping up a system? Why is the system failing? Okay, we know why it's failing, I guess you could say, because they want it to. But the thing is, it's not failing in a quick enough fashion to where it's uh we can improvise, adapt, and overcome. You know, if the system collapsed tomorrow and we're all fucked, stock market crashes, we're plunged into anarchy. We can adapt to that better than we can a slow, painful death by 1,000 cuts, because all the men will say, "Oh, shit's hit the fan. Time to protect. Time to do what needs to be done." Where a death by 1,000 cuts, like we're experiencing, the slow squeeze of inflation, us not being able to afford shit, various other reasons that I just listed off a half hour ago. Uh, if we're slowly being squeezed to death, economic wise, we don't even know it's happening. It's like a frog being boiled. You know that old saying. Uh, no, it's Harvest Mary Moon says, I thought I was the only one thinking the same thing you are. What exactly are you specifically referring to when you say that? Uh, Harvest says slow ball. Um, it's like we're slowly being steamrolled into submission. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know who's going to fix this. If we go to civil war, we're fucked. If we let it continue the way it is, we're fucked. If we elect somebody else into offices, we're probably fucked because they're part of the system. Um, I'm at a loss here, guys. Help me out. In the last 6 years, I have cut back on my standard of living so much that going out to eat, buying a package of cookies at Kroger for $3 is considered a luxury. I shouldn't have to pay $3 for cookies. That was a little bit of humor thrown in there. So go, haha. That this is where you laugh. Anyway, um, I know this sounds like me barking in the wind, and y'all are probably right there with me in terms of economically suffering. I'm not barking into the wind to go, oh, woe is me. This is not what this is tonight. This is um, basically saying it's everybody. Um, everybody is affected by this bullshit. I don't care who you are. Not to mention the racial tensions, the migratory or illegals tensions side of things. Um, just the world seems to be falling apart. Like in slow motion. Um, Cosmic Country Girl says there are 8 million AI data centers. Don't really care. Um, that's another thing. I was mentioning about people like going out to malls and restaurants and shit. Like, where are you people? I'm also seeing on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, just the interwebs itself. Where is everybody? Where are, like, when iPhones first came out in like 2010 ish, 2007, 2010, that era, and everybody was online and you could find your friends' accounts and shit, and you could find people nearby, and there was hundreds of people online, and you know everybody was there. Well, I fired up those apps and there's nobody there. It's all fake accounts. It's all 1 day old, 2 day old accounts. It's bots that are mining for likes and follows, and um, for financial reasons, because people got bot farms going. If you don't know what a bot farm is, it's where you have a server computer that makes you make a fake account, and it will just collect follows, likes, and your revenue will be going to a certain account. And you basically make thousands of dollars off of that English ad revenue. So, anyway, uh, like everybody's missing on the internet too. Unless, where are you? I don't know. Thank you, Nightwing. It's clickbait. Yes, it's drowned out by AI. It's drowned out by bots. It's drowned out by clickbait, and the real people are gone from the internet. At least in the public eye, and I don't know why. Um, so that leads me to the third branch of this commentary, discussion, me ranting, whatever. Spiritual side of things for a second. Um, People are disappearing. If, whether that actually be that they are disappearing, like being raptured up type shit, whether you believe in that or not, I don't know. It's not, you know. That's not for me to decide. Uh, like being raptured or whisked away to some foreign land, whatever. Um, or they're disappearing by other means, or were they ever there at all? Me and Lake were having a conversation. What was it, last night or the night before? Where is what you call an NPC that's non-playable character in our reality. Um, what does that mean? Like when you go to the store, everybody else in the store that you interact with is a robot or part of the Matrix simulation. You understand what I'm saying? They're not really people per se. The people you drive by on the road are not really there. They're not really people. It's your reality. Um, it's your consciousness making up that reality as you go about your existence. If you've seen The Matrix, it's the same principle of the steak scene where he's eating the steak, but it goes invisible on his fork. And he says, yeah, the simulation eating a juicy steak right now, but none of this is real, basically. Um, and everybody, or you, or me, are really the main character. Okay. You are the star of the movie. You are the star of your own reality. And everybody else is just part of the simulation. They don't really exist per se. They do, but it's a quantum thing. Like things only exist when you observe them. Okay. Um, so let's say, okay, to make this simple so you understand it, because I know not all of you are gamers, but let's say, okay, you are in your house. Everything you see is your reality, and it will only exist when you see it. So you go into your bedroom and you see your room. It's there for that moment. Close your bedroom door. Is your on the other side of that door? Yes or no? It's the same principle of tree falls in the woods. Does somebody hear it? You know, that thing. So, getting back to the main character syndrome thing. If I observe people out in public or where people's consciousness says that they are in public, then that part of that reality should spawn in and exist on a quantum level. Now, if a group of people goes into a Walmart in Nebraska and they're all hanging out at the Walmart and there's a cornfield out in front of this Walmart, but they don't see that cornfield. Nobody observes this cornfield. Is that corn there? No. We have no way of proving that. That's called quantum physics. Now, if somebody goes out to that cornfield or looks at that cornfield, it will pop into their reality and their consciousness will say, oh, that's a cornfield. It exists. And it all of a sudden exists for everybody else because you observed it. the atoms in the quantum field have decided their position and now exist as a cornfield. Now, if everybody abandons a town in Nebraska with a Walmart and a cornfield, and they all leave, and they never come back, does that open field of corn in that Walmart still exist? Quantum physics would say no. Why? Because it does not exist in anybody's reality at that second. Which would explain why the computing power of the universe, which is the speed of light, can only do things so fast. There is certain limits, aka laws of physics, that allow our simulation or our existence to run the way it does. So, with that being said, when I say people are disappearing, or certain people, such as Lane and myself, have noticed that there's less people around, and I'm questioning where they're at, are they actually existent? Do we really have 9 billion people on this planet? Where is everybody? What are they doing to keep this simulation going? Is the reason that simulation's degrading is because people are not socializing and not creating the reality itself? Uh, let me open up a tab here real quick, if it will allow me. I'm going to try to explain this in a better sense, if the computer would behave. Come on. It's being a pain in the ass. Let's see. All right. Come on. I think this is it. Yes. Share screen. Windows. All right. Are you guys seeing the paint screen here? Yes. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to the window. Hold on 1 second. I got to make sure everything's lined up here. Okay. So, let's go with all right, we're already in black color here. Let's go with the line size so you can see. So, how do I want to explain this? Do I want to use people? Do I want to use cars? Okay. So you have the population of the Earth, and being that people are not socializing and not interacting and not actually physically seeing people, thus they are not bringing people into the reality. leaves reality looking like a jigsaw puzzle that is not complete. Does that make sense? Okay, you have two people, they look at each other, and here's your field of view. I know I'm not the best artist here and I'm drawing with the mouse, okay? They look at each other in that direction. These two people, these two dots now exist, okay? Um, if you put a wall between them, they cannot see each other. If they don't see each other and there's no other person in the room to observe one or the other, then according to them, they don't exist, if that makes sense. So if this person here looks, and according to quantum physics, this person should be in the other room on the other side of the wall, but they're not, because according to the main character syndrome of this person or their reality, they don't exist. Now, it does go um let's see here. Hold on. What did I just do here? Okay. So, same thing goes for the second person. If they can't observe anybody or choose not to observe anybody else, then anything outside of this person's house does not exist. Okay, it's all blank. There's nothing outside. If you don't look outside your windows, nothing exists. Your reality consists of your house or your room or wherever your person, your body is, or wherever you are observing. Okay? Um, the more people, hold on a minute. Gotta love Microsoft Paint. So, if you have a bunch of people all sitting at a table or gathered in an area, their realities are overlapping. Okay, think of it like uh, Venn diagrams, and such. Your fields of views are crisscrossing, and your realities converge into one singularity right here that you call a mutual existence. Um, Same thing of like when you're going out to eat. Um, Everything in the restaurant exists. When you go walk down the street and there's multiple people there, it exists. It's all there. Okay, there's nothing that is not observed. Um, oh, people are lighting off fireworks. Great. Um, Sorry about that, but so the less fields of view that you have, the less that is observed. Okay, um, which, according to quantum physics, means the less. God, these fireworks need to stop. Uh, which means the less of reality exists, which would theoretically lead to um, a systematic breakdown. being that chunks of reality would not exist because nobody's there to observe them. Because everybody is crowded around, or what I'm saying, crowded around, is ob- obsessed with their phones, the internet. They're only staring at the screen. Okay. They're only in their houses. They're not going out and observing reality enough. Thus, reality is ceasing to exist. Anyone here have questions or not following me on this explanation? K9 Man says, but I still see people. Okay, you still see people, but are there as many people? And how do you know that those people are conscious people? When I say conscious people, I don't mean like you're unconscious, you're conscious type thing. I mean, are they aware? Are they observing their reality? No, most likely they're on their phone or they're distracted by something that disconnects them from the things around them. Okay. So, yes, you do see people. Yes, they do exist physically, but are they observing stuff? It's the same principle of the saying, out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it, you don't know it exists. Karen Thompson says, maybe thoughts people are AI. Well, again, this is the same explanation of like the Matrix, where Neo is being shown the Matrix for the first time, and I forget who the guy's name, but he asks, "Did you see the lady in the red dress?" Look it up. Look that scene up if you know what I mean. It's where people are so unconscious to the reality that exists around them that they don't notice things. Okay, well, if you take that and magnify it down to the um, concept of you're only paying attention to a 3 by 5 size phone and nothing around you is being paid attention to, and you expand that out to 9 billion people, there are going to be sections of our world that are no longer being looked at as closely as they would have been without the distractions. Does that make sense? If you walk by somebody that's being kidnapped on their and you're on your phone, you're less likely to notice them than if you were not on your phone. And by the sheer fact that so many people are distracted, there is less of reality being observed. And due to quantum physics, you have to observe something for it to exist, means that since less things are being observed, less things exist. Make sense? And um, that's worst case scenario. You have people that are off their phones or off the distractions and actually paying attention, but they don't care. So you have the ones that do care that are still trying to hold the system together, which are the few and far between, the ones that are still trying to play the game, such as myself. You have the ones that are conscious, still playing the game, but really don't care. The quiet quitters, the ones that are just chugging along in life, not really, it is what it is. I don't care. It doesn't concern me, that kind of person. And then you have the ones that are unconscious, totally, on their phones, completely obsessed with the internet, phones, alternate reality, AI. Um, they are not concerned with the outside world whatsoever. They're not concerned with raising a family. They're not concerned with holding a job. They're not concerned with what your average person would be concerned with. And by the fact that the number of the third scenario, where people are so obsessed with shit, is growing, the fact that that section of people is growing leads to a stress on the other two groups, the ones that are kind of going along with it, and then the ones that are actually trying to pull weight and make things happen. Which is leading our reality to start to crumble, or our society, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of different. I'm sorry for the fireworks if you can hear that. I don't know how else to explain this. Other than we are fucked. The old system is fucked. I'm fucked financially. You're fucked financially. I'm about ready to call the fucking cops and or run over somebody's fireworks again, I swear to God. Anyway. And that's not to mention that on a spiritual level, who knows if people have been raptured up or gone and fucked off, if you know what I mean by that. No longer on this plane of existence, if you get my drift. So, let me drop the invite and we'll see about, I guess, having a matrix discussion. So, I don't think anybody's going to be able to fix reality, guys. We have to fix reality as a collective. And I don't mean to sound like a communist when I say that, the whole collective thing. But we hold the power of our own reality. Harvest Mary Moon says, do we exist? Well, yes, we do exist, but existing in other people's reality, I guess you could say. So, with that question, you all exist. I know you do. I've talked with you people. I exist. Okay? We all exist in our own little sliver of a reality, a collective reality. Okay? And let's say I'm sitting in my house here in Michigan, and there's a random subscriber of mine in Florida that I know nothing of. Is that subscriber there? According to my reality, no. But the fact that he's subscribed to me and watches me and is part of my channel, I am part of his reality because he watches me. He observes me. He brings me into his reality. I can't observe him because I don't know he exists. If that makes sense. Lightwing says, what was the movie with the NPC? The Matrix? What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm sorry. I just got a text here. Oh my god. So, y'all know Danny. Danny is Lake's dog. Apparently, her daughter just dropped off pajamas for Danny. So now I am looking at pictures of Danny wearing pajamas as, yeah, a dog. Like, wearing pajamas. That is fucking amazing. Hello.
Hey.
So, are y'all up to discuss quantum physics with me?
I'm up to discuss just about any subject.
What'd you say, Jeff?
No, because I do not understand it.
Did you understand any of what I was saying?
Hell, I thought you was coming on at 10 after 9. I didn't know you came on at 8:30.
He was early.
Yeah, I know.
You're lucky I'm even here after 2 weeks hiatus.
What have you been up to in your spare time, out of curiosity? Just asking.
Nothing really. Actually. Cert calls have been going off the hook in terms of power outages.
What's caused the power outages?
I have no idea. They're saying old equipment.
Bullshit.
The whole south side of my city, near 8 Mile, was pitch black for almost a whole day because of old.
Well, you got old equipment on the panel with Jeff and me, I guess.
So, yeah, and I've been tired on the weekends doing shit around here or just not giving a fuck anymore. So yeah. I don't know. I'm here now, though.
But how do we know some of the people we see in stores aren't just holograms?
Well, that's what I'm saying about reality is, are they actually conscious? They're there, but are they actually people?
Well, the people that are there are living in their own little world. Because I forget who was saying in chat about how people, it's just like what happened in New York City with, that guy, killing people. People are oblivious to what's going on in them. They're in their own reality.
Yeah, they didn't even notice him walk in with the gun, right?
I mean, how can people be so unobservant?
Well, that's what I'm saying is, okay, in those people's reality, when they unconsciously ignored the person with the gun, did they notice the person with the gun? Was the guy with the gun part of their reality? No. It only exists if you observe it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up the double slit experiment, quantum physics, and no, it's not something dirty like you think it would sound, but yeah. Excuse my perverted mind.
When I was in high school, like in physics, they didn't really go into that stuff yet because it was like more of a new thing.
What, quantum physics?
Yeah, the teachers, they figured, just trying to get kids through physics was enough.
Well, quantum physics is just a theory.
Just like Einstein's theory of relativity.
And some of it's the only reason quantum physics is a thing is because quantum physics cannot be proven. And the only reason quantum physics can't be proven is because of the nature of atoms and quantum physics. So inherently, quantum physics disproves and proves itself at the same time. Just
It's,
like
it's an
double slit.
oxymoron.
Yeah, just like the double slit experiment where the one atom of matter going through two slits at the same time, only when it is observed does it pick one or the other to go through. If it is not observed, it chooses both at the same time because it does not know what it needs to do because nobody is observing it.
Yeah, but then look at it on one hand. Just because somebody didn't see a nuclear detonation doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right. But the thing is, you would know it would happen because you brought certain things into your reality. Okay, if I bring the bomb into reality via my own consciousness, and I know that that bomb is there in that certain place, and I have a detonator, and I know it exists, it is part of my consciousness. So then it does have to exist in order for me to hit the button, and by the fact that I am interacting with it. So if I hit the button on the detonator will send a signal out to the bomb to detonate it. Okay? So again, getting into quantum physics here, my atoms of my being will interact with the button. Okay? The button's molecules will trigger the signal. The signal will interact with the air molecules via radio signal or however it is decided to transmit. Will then interact with the physicalities of the bomb's atoms. So, really, it's not a distance factor. It's a molecular interaction um, chain. Okay, think of it like you throw a rock into a still pond type thing. You send ripples out. Okay, if I hit the button on the detonator, can I make a chain of atoms or molecules that interact all the way from the detonator to the bomb? In that case, yes, it would detonate the bomb, and it does exist. Because if I hit the detonator and it doesn't go off, then either that chain of molecules or atoms interacting has been broken, thus a defective detonator, or the bomb does not exist.
I look
So,
at I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
But like, if I close my eyes and would drop an apple out of my hand, I know the apple's going to hit the floor or the ground.
Right.
Without even having to see it.
See, and again, this is where our senses come in. Okay. If you are standing in a room, you have an apple, and you have your back turned to it, you throw the apple behind you. You don't see it, but the fact that you are in that same room and the apple hits the floor, the sound of the apple hits the floor, thus disturbing the air molecules, and that's what gives you the input on your ears to sense that the apple exists. This is why we have our five senses to interact with our reality. So, you are not directly interacting with the apple, but you're interacting with the molecules and the bits of reality that you have made manifest, because you know that when you throw that apple behind you, it's going to make a sound. You know that you threw the apple there, and by the sheer fact of you knowing that it's there means it exists. So thus it has to make a sound, thus it exists. And Be Charming says, what if you're deaf? Well, the fact that you threw the apple, okay, you interacted with that apple, you observed that apple, means that it does exist. You may not hear it hit, but we can assume that it did make a noise, even though you are deaf. It still exists.
K9, man, you better call Hunter.
K9, man, I feel like someone's smoking crack. No, I'm not smoking crack. Let me pull up.
101's having a very philosophical
I don't know if it's
conversation.
philosophical. It's more of scientific.
Well, everything is reality based in our realm because we are trapped in time. We can't transverse time like God or the angels.
Well, and here's another thing, and if you really want to get biblical about it, okay, God is an all-seeing, all-knowing being, correct?
Yes.
Okay, God is conscious, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if God sees and knows everything that exists or could possibly exist, then does reality exist?
From
Do
our
things,
point of view, it does because God knows the past, present, and the future,
right?
the
So
beginning and the end.
do things exist? Yes, things do exist, and things do function on an atomic level. Um, thus the laws of physics. Thus the laws that God wrote. Okay. Um, so here's how quantum physics can prove the existence of God. The fact that the laws of physics exist and that the universe is so finely written proves that God exists, because in order for things to be in such finely tuned balance, one way or the other, that has to be created by a conscious being that knows what they're doing, thus the existence of God. You cannot have this reality exist without conscious intervention. Okay, so I'm going to use the example of Minecraft real quick, and if you know what Minecraft is, you know what it is. If you don't, you don't. Okay, you all know what a video game is. Okay, you all know what a computer program is. Okay, same thing. Okay, so you have somebody that writes a program, writes a video game, writes the programming for Minecraft. Okay, and thus they are technically God in that reference to that program. They are the one that created it, correct? Okay, they exist They are a conscious being that made it. Okay? You, as an outside observer or another person of consciousness, okay, or in Minecraft case, the player that spawns into a forest in the Minecraft video game and such. That is your reality. You use a program and you spawn into a forest, and that's what you see on screen. Okay. Do you know what is beyond that forest? You don't know until it is what is called spawned in. In other words, brought into reality. Okay. Rendered in, as the programmers would put it. Okay. So, in order for there to be something beyond this forest that you have spawned into or been dropped in the middle of in this program, the programmer, God, okay, the person that wrote the game or the program, whatever, in order for you to go to the next page, you would have to, they would have to write the programming for it, okay, which means they know it exists. They have observed it, okay, just the same as God has observed the future and he knows it exists, does not necessarily mean that the player in the game knows that something is beyond the forest until it is observed. Does that make sense?
Well, it's just like the same concept. You don't know where you're going until you get there, until you're actually physically at your destination.
Right. You don't know that your destination is even there until you get there. It could be blown up for all you know. Or it could not exist anymore. So, yes, there is something beyond the forest. And we know that because the programmer programmed that into the game. But you as a player may not necessarily know that until it is observed. And you could have, like I explained earlier, multiple people observing a reality and never see what is beyond the forest until they actually do. They don't know it exists. Doesn't mean it's not there. But if you apply this to real life, if you have people that are not observing certain areas of reality, then technically it doesn't exist in their reality.
It's
Doesn't mean
cause and effect.
it doesn't mean it's not there. It means that it has not been observed. And the causing and the affecting thing is, okay, the cause is you looking at it, and the effect is you see it. Make sense?
Yep.
So let me share this real quick, and this will explain it a little bit better.
Professor Dave here. Let's talk about the double slit experiment.
He knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
In learning about the first few discoveries that led to the development of quantum mechanics, we discussed wave-particle duality. So we understand that both light and matter behave as both particles and waves.
This is what I was saying earlier about when Jim throws an apple behind him and he doesn't necessarily see it, but he hears it hit the floor. The sound waves, okay, of particles of air interact with his ears, and thus he hears the noise. So there's where that comes into effect.
The sound is,
The light side of things is you actually seeing the light of the object, such and so forth. Go
the
ahead.
thing is, sound is just air vibration.
Exactly.
But we glossed over some of the technical details, so let's zoom in for a moment. In 1801, Thomas Young performed experiments where light was passed through a plane with two slits in it, striking a screen beyond. The diffraction and interference patterns that resulted clearly supported the wave.
So, remember when I went into Microsoft Paint and I drew those circles? Think of this as your reality. Okay? You are a particle of light going through these slits, and your reality is these rings. And you have multiple slits or realities that can be observed, and you have multiple rings. And each one of these intersections or triangles that you see are, for instance, if me and Jim are observing the same, like we are now, we're on the same stream. So that stream would be somewhere in one of our intersected realities, correct?
Yeah, and the same principle is used with the design of telescopes, reflection and refraction.
Right.
Wave model of light, with the brighter bands representing constructive interference and the darker bands representing destructive interference, with the width of the bands being a function of the frequency of the light.
So I don't know if you caught that. Let's rewind that.
Interference patterns that resulted clearly supported the wave model of light, with the brighter bands representing constructive interference.
Okay, so constructive interference and destructive interference. Constructive, meaning you build something. You bring something into reality. Destructive means you take away, you destroy, you remove. Does that not sound like the two warring powers in the Bible, darkness, light type thing? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's going on in this country between the left and the right.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Is okay. I'm taking it to a quantum level here tonight on stream. But if I take it to an actual reality thing of what I'm observing in my everyday life, it's exactly what you see in this model, dark versus light. The light pattern and then the dark pattern, and people's realities don't know which one to go to, dark, light, or whatever. And that's why we're having the warring conflict, because our reality is, in this case, right here, distortion. All these waves are distortion. Making sense? People's realities are distorted, thus they're having the interference patterns in their brains or their reality. Thus they're seeing black or white. You got to think outside the box here, people.
And the darker bands representing destructive interference, with the width of the bands being a function of the frequency of the light. Later in the century, Maxwell showed that light is a wave of oscillating electric and magnetic fields. So it seemed as though the case was closed on the declaration of light as waves. But as we said, in 1905, Einstein solved the problem of the photoelectric effect by assigning particle nature to light. Thus, wave-particle duality was born. Later, de Broglie proposed that particles must therefore also display wave-like behavior, and this was shown to be true in an experiment, just like Young's more than 100 years prior. This modern version is what we are typically referring to when we talk about the double-slit experiment. From this, it was shown that a beam of electrons exhibits diffraction and interference patterns, just like light does. This demonstrates the wave-like properties of electrons, and by...
Okay, so all these little dots here are people, okay? This slit itself is a reality, okay? A good or a bad reality, okay? And these people don't know which reality to choose until somebody tells them what to do, okay? If you're an outside observer, otherwise known as the optical screen, okay, and you tell these people to go through this bottom slit here, which is the good reality, well, then everybody will go towards the light and be concentrated. If this optical screen doesn't tell anybody to do anything and the people are left to their own devices and they can go through either one, the good or the bad, they can end up being this exact pattern, the light versus the dark. Okay, so more people, meaning, more light, and less people, meaning darkness. Fewer people are lost in the dark. You get it? Okay. That's what this is. That's what I've been trying to explain.
Extension matter in general. Later, low-intensity experiments showed that even an individual electron, when passing through biprisms or slits, will interfere with itself, making the wave-like nature of the electron undeniable. So it was shown that electrons act as both particles and waves, but not just electrons. Neutrons were also shown to exhibit diffraction patterns. It must be understood that since all particles are also waves, literally any object could hypothetically exhibit a diffraction pattern, so long as the object passes through an aperture roughly the size of the object's wavelength. But remember that massive objects have incredibly tiny wavelengths, so for something like a human being to diffract, they would have to pass through an aperture around 10 to the negative 36 meters wide, which is a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a meter. So this will be pretty tough, no matter how much you diet. In this way, we begin to see how Newtonian mechanics is not the fundamental descriptor of motion.
Okay, you're getting to shit that I don't care about.
I think it's pretty interesting. Look at it like this. To get back to what you said, okay, first of all, if someone's a Christian, okay, Jesus is our shepherd and we're the lambs in his flock. But in the situations that go on in the world, the people that basically just follow the leader are the lambs, and the people that decide on their own are more like the wolves.
Uh-huh. And
Well, the thing is, the problem is a lot of people, they need to be led by someone. You're either a leader in this world or you're a follower.
well, that's the problem that we're having right now.
That's my hope. That's why I said it one-on-one.
Yeah, there is no leader right now. Nobody knows what they're doing because okay, you call it a generational thing of, our parents let us down or people took advantage of us or whatever. I can't afford a house because of, a greedy white man in a skyscraper somewhere wants to, charge more for houses or something, call it a generational thing in that sense of our future was stolen, or people just don't want to take the reins anymore and are rejecting what our parents and our grandparents did, and they just don't care to hold reality together,
Well, one of the big problems in this country is there's a lot of young people that don't want to do any physical labor. Because I was saying,
the thing
okay,
is, hold on, the whole my generation and younger generations don't want to work, I find that's bullshit because we are working and we are earning money, but we're not earning enough.
but the thing is, there's shortages in certain industries. This country, with all this stuff they're going to do with AI and building new power plants, we're going to need more welders, electricians, pipe fitters.
So,
and the thing is, I'll give an example. In this area, there's a shortage of stonemasons, people that can do masonry work, and I know of people that used to sell Christmas tree seedlings. I was saying on Bushcraft show last night, and they have to hire guest workers with visas because they can't find college kids or high school kids that are off in the summer that want to do any kind of work. And the sad reality is there's a lot of college educated white kids that are real liberal that are making actually good income jobs between 30 and 45, and they're for all this socialism. Now, and I know people in my family, they're doing good financially. They think, man, Donnie running for mayor of New York is just going to, save the whole city.
Well, that's their reality. That's what they think is.
Yep, and they're the lambs.
So here's the thing: is they're being told. This is what I'm saying. Of going back to the double slit experiment. Think of those people being told what to do by Mom Donnie, or by their thoughts, they're being told that Mom Donnie is the way out, the way to go. Thus, they're manifesting that reality of him getting into office.
They think that there's going to be utopia, and you figure students of history, socialism has never worked. If they think a guidance counselor is going to stop someone from doing bad things with a pew, they're out of their mind.
It's reality.
Yep. They live in a different reality than
they're in the okay. Look at the two wavelengths, Jim.
Yep.
That was just in the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Destructive and constructive. They're in the destructive wavelength. We are in a constructive wavelength, and right now the two wavelengths are fighting.
They don't realize that they're destructive.
The reason the two wavelengths are fighting is because the two wavelengths exist. The only way that the two wavelengths would exist in the double slit experiment is the fact that nobody's telling them what to do consistently. In other words, okay, in your generation, Jim, you were told if you play your cards right, you get a good job, you invest, you get a house, you get a wife, you get a car, and you live out your life, and you're good. Okay? Well, nobody's going with that narrative anymore. So they're rejecting the whole being told what their life should be. So my generation, younger generations, are rejecting the ways of old that actually worked, I would say, generally speaking. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. In a sense, if you applied yourself, you could get a house and have a family and live decently. Now, by rejecting the ways of old, the younger generations are creating an alternate reality that is fighting the current reality of the way things should be, at least in my opinion. So, that in turn is creating two different wavelengths of thinking. Okay, thus go back to the double slit experiment. Two wavelengths that are constructive, the old ways of thinking, and destructive, the new ways of thinking that are bullshit. Okay, and these two wavelengths are fighting each other. Thus why we have all the conflict in our reality. Holy shit, I actually made a fucking coherent thought there. I didn't think that was gonna pan out there for a minute.
Well, you figure people in my generation and my parents' generation, I was taught if you work hard, you'll succeed. You'll live happily ever after until you come down with an illness and unfortunately die.
Well, yeah, that's kind of bleak, but yes.
I mean, some people don't realize you can live happily ever after until, something takes its toll on you.
Right. So, I mean, that's what I was told. You work hard, you play your cards right, basically, and you live, happily ever after. But the fact that younger generations, sadly mine and younger, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, are rejecting our reality because they don't want to play a game for whatever reason. Many people have different reasons for not going with the flow of this reality. For some reason, they have rejected the plan that has always worked. I'm not saying the plan was perfect. We've been taken advantage of for hundreds of thousands of
Yep.
years, but generally speaking, I'm okay with the plan if I can live a comfortable life and have family, live my life, not really be bothered. If I have to go work 9 to 5 till I'm 60, that's fine. If as long as I'm living comfortably, I'm not going to win every battle. I can't be rich. There's certain things I've made peace with.
And the thing is, most of the people that are behind putting Mandani
Yes, Sniffer,
where
you
he
can.
is are very wealthy, and the poorest of the poor are behind him because they think he's going to succeed. Too bad Jeff had to take off.
Oh. Nightwing says, like Uncle Scrooge concept, be tougher than the toughies and the smarter than the smart. I never heard that concept.
You're right, Harvest Merryman, about they've rejected God.
Just might be they have rejected God. It could be that simple. Well, okay. Going back to the video game concept here, okay? God is the programmer of our reality or our video game, okay? We are players in God's reality, aka the video game. The ones that reject the reality are the equivalent to hackers, okay? You hack a game, you hack a program, when you go outside of the program or you change the reality, you change the programming, then all of a sudden that the program doesn't work right or things get broken. Okay, makes sense.
It's like
So
getting cheat
yes,
codes to the video game.
I'm sorry.
It's like getting cheat codes to the video game.
Well, I wouldn't say cheat codes, but they're making up their own cheat codes. They
Yeah.
think they have cheat codes. They're trying to enter cheat codes and it doesn't work. Either way, they're breaking the game. They're breaking reality. Or in Harvest's argument, they're rejecting God. Well, yes, they're rejecting God. Then, yeah, they're breaking their own reality.
But most people don't know they're in darkness until they see light.
Hello,
Hey,
Steph.
Sniffer.
How you
Good to
doing,
see
sir?
you. Good.
I got echo.
So-
How do I get echo out of here?
Do you have a window open? If you have my stream open in another tab, maybe mute that.
Got it.
You good?
Yep, I got it now.
Okay.
Okay, because
I'm not
sometimes on bushcrafts he gets an echo, but that's through through Streamlab.
So we've been talking for a minute, so let's give Sniffer the floor.
Yeah.
What you got on your mind, brother?
All right, I'm on a standby alert of where I'm located at. I'm over here at UN,
Okay.
and as you heard, that our president has sent a couple nukes over.
Our nuclear
So-
submarines into the North Sea, correct?
Yep.
Yes, sir. So we're on standby, and I'm going to be boarding one of those sometime tomorrow night when
Okay.
they get there.
We're talking 24 hours or 48 hours?
48 hours.
Okay.
May God be with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Really? All of us at this point.
If you
I
notice,
think
if you notice in the background what I got sitting back there, I don't know if you can see that.
yeah, the
Yes.
American flag and the eagle.
Mm-hmm. That is what you call a tall blanket that I made 4 years ago on the sewing machine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can respect that.
I made that
That
off of patterns.
That would make a very nice logo for my channel.
Yeah, that would. That would, especially over the top.
Well, um,
No, we're on standby mode.
so 48 hours is not, I wouldn't say DEFCON 1, but like we're on alert, but we're not like shit our pants alert type.
We're still on 2.
I'm sorry?
We're still on 2.
We're DEFCON 2?
Yes, sir.
I think we're
Us,
going to see a scare
Oh
event.
dear.
us over
didn't-
here.
I didn't know. Oh dear. We are.
Yeah,
Oh,
us
brother.
over here. We're on 2.
I know you, but still, that's.
Yeah, we're on
Oof.
high alert over
I know.
here.
I know the country's not, but
Most people are unaware. Most people don't follow the news, just like what 101 started with. They're in their own reality. Most people don't know what's going on, except for the people that are involved with shows like 101's.
okay. Look at. Was that what Sniffer just said? Part of my reality prior to him telling me? No. Did I know it existed? No. Did it exist in my reality? No.
Nope.
Until he told me. Now it does.
But does it surprise you, 101?
No, it doesn't surprise me. It worries me more than anything. I mean, judging by the way Sniffer's not like ducking for cover right now, I would assume we're not, shitting our pants just yet, but we're getting the grumblies.
How many years have you been in the Navy, Sniffer?
25 years so far.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
Jesus Christ, brother. Good job.
Yeah, I worked my way from ground up. And what I am is a sonar operator.
That's fancy.
hmm I'm a lieutenant commander.
That's all high skilled, especially with the technology that's out there now.
Yeah, that's why I'm not used to this little computer anymore. I'm so used to the big ones. The big ones all laying around.
You're used to having walls of monitors rather than just a small.
Well, we have 4 total. The other sonar operator, he has 2. I have 4. So.
Is this
Plus,
making
plus I have a computer printer on that side of me. As I'm facing the camera, I'm having computers on this side and a printer. And he has on his side electronics.
I don't know how much you know about quantum physics, but did you understand any of what I said about any of that?
I understood some of it.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to know.
Well, my education is a little higher than all yours, so I went to college
Must be nice.
4 years. Then I went into Navy for about 3 years for training.
Can I ask you, like, what you paid total for college, like lump sum?
Well, my parents paid for that.
Well, what would you suspect that they paid?
Lump sum at that time about $250,000.
Okay, and this was in what year?
72.
Or rough 70s.
Yep.
Okay, so you basically got a multi-million-dollar scholarship in today's money. Okay.
Yeah, I'm way up there, and I learned a lot.
See, in Sniffer's case, getting an education was worth it. I
Yep.
would say, like that's. Now I don't know if you went to college for this sonar stuff specifically, but it led you to this to get a very good job, I would assume.
Yes, it is.
So, Sniffer inherently is living the American dream right now.
Except I'm not over there right now. I'm
Are you
over here.
nervous?
Oh, you're not?
Are you nervous about what's going on, Sniffer?
Yeah, very much.
Okay.
And I think everybody else is too.
Yeah.
Well, it's only him being nervous.
Yeah, sorry that I wasn't on the air for a while there, but like I said, I was over here
I
and I
wasn't
just
on the
got
air
fishing.
either.
Excuse me?
I wasn't on the air either. I was gone for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I wasn't around.
So
I was
it worked
out.
out, I guess.
I was over here since the beginning of summer.
Hmm.
So we're going through training
Wow.
courses over here, and we got to go into a typical nuclear submarine, which is one of my favorite ones. And I ain't gonna say which class it's in.
We're talking nuclear capable and nuclear powered?
Yeah, 14 Tomahawks.
Oh, shit.
Well, you figure, without asking, I know some carry the Tridents, and some of the other subs, there were attack subs with the Tomahawks. And it's rumored those things could be armed with nukes too.
Digital, I would assume
That's what
that
Tomahawks
here,
are.
Yeah.
Digital Hawk says, where is here? I would assume here is classified.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, it's none of our business.
I'm just concerned of whether or not we're in one piece or not.
I am.
don't care.
I don't know about you all. I just talked to my wife about 3 days ago. I couldn't talk to her that much because I'm in a bunker.
Oh. Everybody gives Bushcraft shit about his bunker when it's just a green screen. But meanwhile, you're probably sitting actually in a bunker somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I'm in a bunker.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a big one. There's about 600-man crew in here.
Well,
I'm surprised they allow you to have internet.
For temporary bases, we're on a secured line
Oh. Well,
for us to talk to our families and friends.
Well, be sure to tell them that the outside world appreciates their work.
Will do.
I know you guys don't get a lot of compliments or recognition, being that you do work so secretively.
Yeah, we have to.
and you figure it really pisses me off when I saw so many people. Okay, 4th of July, no King's Day. Okay, if it wasn't for the military, the people in this country wouldn't have their freedom. Too many of these people, especially on the left, they take for granted that their freedom. They have no idea where their freedom came from. Their freedom came from the blood, sweat, and tears of so many Americans that died in the past and present.
So here's a question for Sniffer. Would you say that more wars are fought silently without anybody's knowledge
Yes,
and
sir.
resolved and such?
Yeah, we are we are what you call top-notch secretary. We can't tell anybody where we're at all times.
I understand that. What I'm saying, though, is statistically speaking, are there conflicts that have been resolved without a shot being fired more frequently than the American people know about?
I would presume so. Like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know. I'm 1,500 feet below sea level, so I couldn't know unless we go to the about 60 feet from the surface. So that's when we shoot a.
What I'm saying is, people like you that are fighting the quiet wars that don't get the recognition. A lot of you guys solve the conflicts before they happen, or put things into motion that the American people know nothing about.
Yeah.
And yet people are so ungrateful for what they have. Like, they don't know how hard people work, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know.
Well, the American people don't understand what we go through.
That's what I'm getting at.
We go through training. We got to keep our top secrets modes. We got to not say nothing where we're going, who we're going to be with, what we're going to be on. We can't say nothing until we come home.
It's all got to be covert for everybody's safety and national
Yeah, I wouldn't
security.
even say you could even say anything when you get home. That's a
Well,
NDA and
once everything is done and it's done and over with,
as
you
long as it's
know, then
declassified
it
too.
be, yeah. But otherwise, we can't say anything where we're going, what time we're going to get back, if
Of
we're going to
course,
get back.
OPSEC.
We can't say nothing.
Of course, OPSEC.
Yep.
And such. So,
So how you been?
how have I been? Just hanging in there, holding down the homeland fort, if you can call it that. Yeah.
And
Not
how you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good. I've had it with the hot weather we had this summer. Actually, the past 2 days are the nicest days we've had
right.
all summer. We had hardly any rain. The
Oh,
other
good.
day, we had 3 inches of rain on most of the property in an hour and 15 minutes. And because I'm outside of Philadelphia, 25 miles where I grow Christmas trees. And after all that rain, the ground's still somewhat dry.
Dude, we had like 3 places flood here. We had like 16 DeQuinder area. We had 2.5 feet of water, and that place never floods. St. Clair Shores flooded. That was like 3 foot. Down in Detroit was down in is it Lapeer? No, Romulus by the airport had at least 6 feet of water,
Wow.
and they shut down the airport. So like the last week or so of us getting rain was terrible.
My rain gutters, I could see looking outside, were overflowing in some spots. Most of the
Yeah,
water ran off.
we usually get a lake in our backyard when it just can't absorb enough.
Because people always like concerned about me. It's like this whole property's on a hill. No matter how much rain we get, it's okay here.
But my wife will be on her way over here too. She's going to go into a different department, but she's on her way over here also.
Oh, she's not just a wife; she's a actual part of this too, huh?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
she's a big honcho for over here.
Oh,
I got a question. Where you're at, are the guys allowed to have like an alcoholic beverage, a beer or anything?
No sir,
Okay, I just wondered.
no sir. We're on a high
Jim,
alert for a reason.
Jim, I'm sorry, but that's kind of funny. Like they're handling nuclear submarines, and you're like,
No, we're
yeah, are they allowed to drink?
Well, what
Like-
about after you return?
Like what kind of a ticket would that qualify as? Like that's not drinking and driving. That's like drinking and I don't know, playing with our existence. I don't know. It just sounded funny.
And just to let you know, if anybody on our subs of any kind that we have around, okay, everything is fingerprinted, operated. Okay. The ones that can shoot is the ones that has the fingerprint that's inside of the computer.
Oh, so we're no longer doing the turnkey thing?
Nope. Everything is fingerprinted now. Biometric.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Or men's on the submarine, do they have personal? Are they allowed to have like a sidearm?
Yes. We all
What
do.
always concerns me is, well, if everybody is vetted, what if somebody like a mole was placed somewhere? to
I don't
sabotage?
think I think at this point we're not getting moles.
Well, to
in
be
our
honest
stuff.
with you, Jim, we would know it before they even get placed on the sub.
Right.
Okay, there's so much vetting.
They're so tight, like they're they're tighter than a virgin's asshole. You know,
We're not like Russia. We're not like Russia. It's got people, republical, serving on their, nukes.
I was thinking of Red
Us-
October.
Yeah, that's totally different.
I know.
We don't have something like that.
And I've never been in the military. I thought of actually joining the Marines, but they wouldn't take me because I was born nerve deaf in my left ear.
Ouch.
I didn't know that. So
I've told you before.
I'm sure you have. I just probably.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got so much going on, you can't remember every little detail.
So
about
does
everyone.
that mean that you're deaf, Jim, or does
I was
that mean
born nerve deaf in my left ear. The nerve is dead, and I don't want to
so you're deaf, or is
completely
that
deaf in my
something?
left ear,
Yeah, he
and
cannot hear out of his left ear.
it's nerve deafness. And I'm an audiophile, and I used to design loudspeakers as a hobby. Figure that one out. And actually, I'll hear something my wife doesn't hear.
I wonder why.
So you've gotten really good with the one ear.
With the right ear, I'm hypersensitive in the right ear.
Well, I think that's your
Brain.
yeah, that's what they say is like when you lose like a one eye or something, your body naturally compensates, over time.
Well, my eyes aren't so great. Actually, when I turned 40, I had to start wearing weak dollar store reading glasses. And I don't want to get prescription glasses because I don't want to get used to them when I'm outdoors trying to harvest deer for crop damage.
I don't know how everybody's doing the chat. I don't know how to put chat on this thing yet, so
Well, chat's
I'm just
Chat's
listening to you
okay.
guys.
yeah, they're
Everybody's listening to you, Sniffer.
they're
I
there.
know that because they're making comments. Nice ones.
Ugh.
I hope it's good ones because I don't see it here. No, my wife, she's a top-notch officer, and I met her on the sub that I was on where I had my accident.
How many
Yep.
how many stripes?
She's way up there.
Oh dear, like 4 or 5.
I've heard the same story before, Sniffer. Because I'm involved with the game commission, I know game wardens where their wife is a fish and boat warden, where people, you see what I mean? And it's just like the military.
They definitely met on the job.
Yep, they met.
Yeah.
And people like that have common interests, and they kind of think alike in a lot of ways, where they wouldn't be in the professions that they chose.
Well, see, the thing is, the reason why they chose me to get onto one of the subs is because I'm a very good listener up here. I can hear things in the ocean that nobody else can hear.
I feel like Jim would make a good listener too.
Yeah, if he gets his other ear back.
Right.
I would miss something on the left headphone because I only hear in the right ear.
I feel like I've
Yeah.
lost some of my hearing due to the headphone thing.
You know what profession people they really have hearing loss in? Being a dentist. The drill does it. It's the high frequencies. Frequencies like above 2.5, 4,000 hertz.
Yeah, they go high. But that's why they stick something in your ear to make sure it doesn't get a dampen, but it's not whatever they stick in your ear doesn't make any difference.
Yeah,
It goes
ironic
through your
part.
jawline.
The ironic part is I just got a couple of teeth filled the other day.
Concrete?
Uh,
Just messing with you.
felt like it. Gritty like it.
You got to use hearing protection, like with farm equipment, using a firearm.
Yeah.
I mean, people, even guys that drive big trucks, they don't realize that that's hard on their hearing.
I remember being in machine shop and shit, like in high school. You turn on the machines and all, and you get used to it, and you don't realize how loud it is, and
Yep.
then you turn them all off, and you're like, "Holy shit, I'm deaf."
Yeah, that's what my grandfather was when he was on the battle cruiser.
Machinist?
No, he was a gunner
Oh,
on a battle cruiser, and he forgot to put his hearing protection on when he got in there. And now he's deaf in both ears.
Wow, that's
I hear that those yeah, they're loud, but they're not loud as in like gunshot gunshot loud, like frequency. It's more of a loud boom
Woof. Yeah.
rather than a loud crack.
But what you have,
Because
what you
because
have, what you have in there, not be rude to you,
no, go ahead.
interrupting you. What you have on that oomph sound, you got the echo coming back at you.
The
Okay,
pressure wave.
the pressure wave, and that's what if you don't have your protection around your head and your ears and all
Right.
around you, you have to have all this protection around you to keep the sound from coming in your ears.
And people
And
don't
we have
realize.
different, and we have different ear muffs for different things. They're sitting up this big. Okay, and according to what he said, he forgot to put his on, and he's deaf in both ears
Just by like one time.
one time.
Oh wow.
And
Yeah.
people don't realize lower frequencies can do just as much damage to your ears and even to your brain.
Well, that's the same
Sonic.
principle as the Moab, mother of all bombs.
Yeah.
When Trump dropped it on the Afghan mountains, it sucked all the air out or created a pressure wave to basically scramble people's organs.
hmm
So,
Well, that was a big one. The one that the one that they dropped, if I'm not mistaken, it sinks the holes in and it detonates when it gets down to the bottom automatically. It detonates.
well, I thought
So when it
Moab's.
goes
I thought
so
Moab.
when it goes down into the hole, like this is your hole, it goes down in that hole.
Hold on, not the bunker busters. The
Well, that's what I'm talking about, the bunker buster.
oh, I thought you were talking Moabs. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But when that missile drops and it goes down into that hole, it goes about 500 feet down, and then it goes poof, like that, and you see the whole thing just come out like that. Then you know you hit
Right.
down bottom. But it doesn't detonate right away.
No, it would be stupid to
Yeah.
detonate right away. But I was talking Moabs where it detonates above ground about 6 feet. It's got prongs on the tip of the missile, and those prongs will be pushed in. They hit the detonator, and that'll detonate in the air, creating a massive pressure wave and scrambling people's organs just by the sheer pressure. It doesn't even have a fireball to it necessarily. It's just enough to create that vacuum, and yeah, and you can't escape it because it sucks all the oxygen out.
hmm
So if your organs don't get scrambled, your oxygen gets removed from your body forcefully. So if you do try to hold your breath and you did see it coming, your lungs would theoretically explode, just like they would if you held your breath underwater at
Yeah.
like 30,000 feet. So
So what happened to Bear Truth? He was in there a little bit ago.
I don't know. He connection issues, or
Mm.
I don't know what he does half the time anymore. So
I saw your truck is coming up pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty much done. I put the cap on it about what 2 months ago,
I am.
just about. Yeah. I'm gonna put some more lights in the cap because I need emergency lights back there because the cap blocks the lights that are on top from being seen from the back. So I'll have to put some in the back, further back where they can be seen. Other than that, there's really nothing I got to do to the truck anymore or want to do to the truck. Maybe a frontal leveling kit to gain a couple inches of lift in the front. Just because I got so much weight on the front, it kind of makes the nose dip a little bit, but it's not unbearable or undrivable.
Do you bottom out?
Only when I hit, like, when you're pulling a driveway and you got the curb, you go over. Only if I take that at speed, really, and that's only for a split second. it's like right there on the cusp of
What
rubbing.
kind of shocks you got in the front?
Bilstein.
Do you have any
15.
dampers?
I got bump stops.
No, I'm talking about dampers. Do you have any dampers on the front?
I don't understand what you mean by dampers.
Okay, dampers is like what they use on rally cars instead of shocks or struts. They're called dampers.
Oh, these are just shocks and struts.
Okay.
So
I thought 101 was trying to make the truck look a little more inconspicuous.
I don't know about him sometimes.
really? Yeah. What's how? How was I making it?
I was just joking. Imagine if there was imagine how what happened in Great Britain in World War II, lights out warning.
Right. They actually warned me. So the CERT team was like, since we're posting on Facebook what we're doing, and some stuff can be confidential, no more road rage or any issues on the road. Don't be, acting stupid out there because your truck's pretty recognizable. We don't need anything coming back on the team, So I have since.
Are you making some friends with the CERT people?
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Like, for instance, my commander, I wouldn't say we're close, but I mean, I talk with him.
Are there many females?
Not that I've seen so far. There's a few, but they're older.
Would you like to see my vehicle?
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Oh,
look at you. That's something out of Grand Theft Auto. That's Grand Theft. That's the I forget the name of it. I know which car that is.
What year is that, Swiffer?
That's a 1970 Dodge Charger.
Okay. What size engine? 426.
I got a 444 in there.
Okay.
That's a Grand Theft Auto picture.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as that.
Yes.
Except mine's orange.
I had one myself in the game. I did a Dukes of Hazzard style. What was I saying? So one of our streets is being redone with construction, and we had
that will be good for your logo.
Yeah, I could see that being
American Eagle.
That would be good for your logo.
Yeah. So we had some people driving in the construction zone the other day, and I called up my commander, and I'm like, do you know anybody in the road commission to get another road barrier out here? Because people are sneaking in a construction site, and we can't have that shit. And he says, don't worry, I let local PD know, so they got another barrier out. Oh, the baby.
No, he ain't baby. She is 4.5 years old.
Still a baby.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is that?
Part pit and part boxer and part terrier. She's got a little bit of everything in her. And I miss her. I miss her. She would have been perfect for us up here. Because she's a guard dog.
Who's taking care of her now? A family member?
Yeah, a family member is taking care of her right now. She's going to miss me when I come back. I can see her right now when I come back to the house. She goes, barking and hopping and skipping and jumping. And
you got somebody taking care of her?
Yeah, I got a family member.
Yeah, I hate having to put a dog in a kennel.
Yeah, they're taking care of her right now. But she's a good watchdog, I know that. Very good.
And my wife says Holly's the last dog. She says we're getting too old.
Never getting too old for a doggy.
I tell my wife I need her because she's my left ear.
Yeah, she's the only one that listens. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Well, today I had a problem. I parked the truck to move manure, and Holly saw a groundhog get into a hole, and she was trying to get into the hole, and I thought you're gonna get clawed in the face, so I had to move the truck and tie her to the bumper somewhere else.
And that's my elder baby right there.
Oh,
In case you wonder what her name is, Cotton Ball.
it looks like a cotton ball.
Yeah, when I got her, she was only about this big.
What breed's that dog?
It's not a dog, it's a cat.
Oh, that's a cat. Okay, I couldn't.
That's a
Oh,
cat. When I got her, she was only about that big. And the reason why I got her like that, because the mother got killed, and I had to baby feed her all the way up until she wound up this big. Huge. I mean, right now, by toted laying out, she's about like this. So she's a big cat.
when we got our dog from a rescue, we had to sit on the floor and feed her. She was shot as a puppy when she was about maybe 4 to 6 months old. Twice. She was shot a 20. They know it was a 22. They found a 22 in her uterus,
Ouch.
and a 22 grazed her muzzle. The Home at Last, the rescue, sent me an email with the picture of it.
It's crying shame
So-
what they do to animals.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down here. It's getting late, and you know,
What time is it at your what time is it at your end there?
it's
Phoenix.
10:43 right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So-
only
By the time I take some time to myself and check up on YouTube shit, and it's gonna be about midnight. So
it's 4 o'clock p.m. over here.
for you would be
1600 hours.
so you're on West Coast.
I'm on the other side of the water. Let's put it this way. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
which location.
Hmm.
One thing you're not going to get out of me.
You're probably in the Pacific.
No, he's either in Japan or somewhere up by Alaska.
It's better none of us know.
Either
Better
way,
off.
he's everywhere and nowhere at the same
Yep.
time. So, all right, I will see y'all next stream, probably next weekend. Again, sorry I was away for a couple weeks, but just the way shit fell. So,
Well, I didn't miss you much. I wasn't around.
oh, thanks. All right, you guys have a good night.
Thank you.
I'll see y'all next weekend. 101
Out.
out.
Out of commission.